Ryan Garcia's coach Derek James visibly annoyed and upset with Ryan Garcia during the press conference. I can't blame him. I understand that. I've been, thinking about their dynamic a lot, and I've just been very skeptical about the fact that I look at Derek James, and don't get me wrong, I'm familiar with Derek James. I've seen a lot of the press conferences he's been in for Frank Martin, Errol Spence, of course. He's not a very talkative person. He doesn't get very involved in the trash talk as a coach. But with Ryan Garcia, I couldn't help but notice there seems to be an extra level of, stress and irritation coming from Derek James, just like listening to what his fighter Ryan Garcia has to say. It's like he's always stressed out and worried about what's going to come out of Ryan Garcia's mouth, and it's just like, it's like very entertaining, don't get me wrong, to see Ryan Garcia, speak whenever he's answering questions. You never know. He's like a loose cannon. You don't know what's going to come out of his mouth. He's very reckless with his words. He doesn't watch what he says. He doesn't watch what he's saying at all. Yeah, he's just letting it fire right now, and I don't know. It's just a little uncomfortable. Like, you guys can see visibly in these press conferences that people are uncomfortable. Like, you look at Oscar De La Hoya while Ryan Garcia's screaming. He's saying explicit stuff, using explicit language, and you could just look at everybody even on the stage. People are getting uncomfortable, man. It's like, I've been around boxing for a long time, but still Oscar De La Hoya looks very uncomfortable. I'm not used to seeing him like that. Like, he's usually smiling, and then you look at Derek James and he's just like, what are you doing? He's looking at Ryan Garcia like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. Let me fix this camera. But yeah, I think Derek James he's a good trainer, a solid trainer. I don't know if he's a great trainer in my opinion. I just think that he has to find a way to get a grip on Ryan Garcia, because your fighter's behavior is also a reflection of what you've been doing with him as a trainer. And if you can't get a hold of your fighter, it just scares me. Within the ring, are you able to listen to directions? Are you going to be a coachable fighter in that ring? That's the main reason why I'm a little bit worried about Ryan Garcia, because I'm just like watching the press conference. I was there. Shout out to Sean Porter. He helped me get into the live press conference, but I just couldn't help but think, like, man, Ryan Garcia, he's just so reckless. I look at his eyes, I'm like, this guy might not be kidding. He might be very well serious. People are calling him crazy. You go in person to see all these media people. They get inside the Barclays Center, which is where the press conference was held, and everyone's just saying, like, I don't know if he's crazy, I don't know this or that. But yeah, people genuinely can't tell if Ryan Garcia is okay or not. People are just going there, just promoting the fight, catching all the videos they can, but like, we really don't know if this kid's okay. Like, I'm looking at his dad, his coach, because they were talking about, if you guys watched the press conference, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia were shaking on a bet. They were shaking hands on a bet for $500,000 in terms of, if you miss weight, it's $500,000 per pound. So let's say Ryan goes in, misses weight by 1 pound, he weighs in at 141, he would owe Devin Haney $500,000. If he goes to 142, 2 pounds, then he'd owe, hypothetically, in theory, Ryan Garcia would owe Devin Haney $1 million. So I could understand, and then I looked, a lot of the press conferences didn't catch it, but you could look at Derek James's face, you could look at his dad's face, and I think they did highlight the fact that, Ryan Garcia's dad was like, Ryan, don't do that. Because, Ryan Garcia, I don't know, maybe there's been some history of him, being reckless with his money. There are rumors that he likes to gamble, stuff like that. So making a bet like that, I think, they got a little frustrated, and I think Derek James knows where that paycheck's coming from, and he got a little stressed out for a sec. He started sweating. He's like, that's supposed to be my money. That's supposed to be my cut. So it's just, I'm sure, as inevitably, if you're his dad, you're his trainer, you're seeing that, and he's putting money on the line, you're like, there's got to be something wrong with him, and you're worrying about the money that he's making because you're getting a piece of it. So it was just a lot of chaos coming from Ryan Garcia during the press conference. He was saying a lot of crazy stuff, talking to the crowd, and I couldn't help but understand, and watch the fact that he may not be joking. Like, he may not be trolling. Like, he's good at, if he is trolling, then he's a good actor, man, because he does not look in the right headspace at all, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I genuinely hope he's able to make this a competitive and exciting fight and leave unharmed, but the way he's acting, this could very well be a very ugly fight for Ryan Garcia, and he could do something unpredictable. He's talked about, you know, Mike Tyson bit one ear, I'm gonna bite both. I might bite both of his ears. I might break his arm in a clinch. Like, he's saying crazy things that I just can't get behind. I can't tell if he's joking or not. So that's the scary part. He's a loose cannon right now. He's very reckless. So you can't help but trust that Devin Haney is gonna pick him apart. And no matter what he's saying right now, I don't see the fight going in his favor, just because there's too much going on, man. You got to be focused. You know, and I think some of that falls on Derek James as well. As a trainer, you have to be able to get your fighter to do what, you know, he wants to execute. You know, if Derek James is making Ryan Garcia do certain things in camp, then he should be able to make Ryan do them in the fight too. You know, it's going to be a reflection of Derek James as well. So there is added pressure on Derek James. I'm not saying it's only about your coach, but a coach does matter. Your trainer does matter, and it just doesn't seem like they have that dynamic, Ryan Garcia and Derek James as a coach. It just doesn't seem like they have that chemistry or that kind of relationship where Derek James can really get a hold of Ryan Garcia and get him to behave. I understand the trolling, but it's just, there's a lot of pressure for Derek James to, you know, win as a trainer and look good as a trainer, because to my knowledge and from what I'm seeing, it just looks like, you know, Ryan's a star and I'll cash a check. I'll catch a check from him. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they have that real coach and fighter bond that we've seen work time and time again. I'm just very against constantly switching trainers. I just feel like, how could you really know what you're improving on, what you're not improving on? And you know, Ryan Garcia, he's very much promoting the fight like he's almost very aware that he's kind of losing it, in a sense, for a lack of better words. And he's even said, you know, maybe I am crazy, maybe I do have a screw loose. He's saying stuff like that. So I mean, at least he's aware. I don't know what to say in response to all of this, but it's been chaos, man. I've been covering a lot of fights over the last 2 to 3 years, but I've never been so like exhausted just from like seeing constantly crazy thing after crazy thing. I understand he's promoting the fight, but I think a lot of people didn't buy tickets. You know, they talk about the fight not selling as much as they thought or as much as they projected it to. I do think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Ryan Garcia has been, you know, very on edge, and people don't know if he's, at least they didn't know if he was going to show up. That's why the ticket sales weren't doing too hot, but now I think they're doing better. But in a sense, Ryan Garcia might have been trolling to get attention, but I think he's actually, you know, lost some ticket sales in the process. So there's been some trade-off. Maybe more people will watch it on pay-per-view, but not as many tickets will sell. So we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Ryan Garcia's trainer appearing to be kind of annoyed and frustrated with Ryan Garcia and his antics at the press conference. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.